2, or level 2 of our Breakout out game on Scratch Saturday from Anseo.net. In this second part, we are adding a gaming element to our Breakout game. We've also added a bit of a background, just a night sky, and I've also added some lava at the bottom of the screen, just as a kind of a, game over type effect. At the moment, basically, if you want to play the game, I've also added a 3, 2, 1 countdown to start the game, and basically now the idea is that in order to add a gaming element, you need to stop the ball from landing in the lava. If it touches the lava, it's game over. So that's kind of generally how the game works. In the next section, I'll be adding more effects and adding further elements such as scoring and stuff like that. At the moment, there's no scoring at the moment, so I have all these effects there working away. We'll just have a look on the inside and see what the code looks like. We still basically have our cloned bricks. I've also decided in the last video I was showing you, I'm just going to get rid, there we go, game over, by the way, if it lands. So I've also added just whenever the brick comes, I've hidden the first brick, the not cloned brick, and then you show the clones. So basically there's an invisible brick, which is the original brick, because if you watched the last video, you'll notice that there was a brick lying out of place. Anyway, that's the end screen at the moment as well. Let's have a look. In the first video, we showed you basically how to clone all the bricks, so they're still there. On the stage, I still haven't added any code. It's just I've changed the backdrop to a gradient from black to grey. You can do this in backdrops, and effectively that's just all it is a gradient. I've filled the screen as gradient. There's the fill tool, and these are the gradient options there. If we go to the ball, what I've done is I've added a countdown to the game to start. The reason I did that was because when we were playing it the last time, the ball moved straight away, and I wanted to delay it from moving until the bricks are all covered. So I've done a 3, 2, 1 countdown before the ball appears. So there's the 4 costumes. What the coding for that really here's our 3, 2, 1 countdown. Whenever we click the button, I'm pointing the numbers upwards. I place the ball in the middle here, so it's on costume number 3, so the number 3 should be there, and I repeat 3 times. I basically increase the size by 10%. I set the size to 10% of its original size, basically make it a bit more transparent and add the size to give it that little effect. So you'll see that effect. See the way it's starting there, 3, it's making it bigger and more transparent. 3, 2, 1, go. So that's basically how that works. So that's the repeat. The ghost effect basically makes the ghost effect there basically makes it more transparent. So it repeats 10 times, it gets 50% transparent, and we change the size up by 10. So by the end it should be at full size. And basically, in order for it not to go too quickly, we just have a minor pause between each transition. So it's a bit of animation. We move to the next costume then, and you set the ghost effect back to 0, and we start again, so back to full transparency. At the very end of other thing, I'm creating the sound pop just to get the ball showing up. Just no reason for that really. And then I point the ball into it at an angle, and then I just basically move it around the screen for the speed of about 5 steps. We'll probably in a future video vary that speed depending on how far we are in the game, and it just bounces. So that's basically all that's changed really in terms of setting up. As well as that, we've a couple of other bits of code. This bit of code here is whenever the flag is clicked forever, if it touches the paddle, so the paddle is our new piece of our new sprite here. Basically, if it touches the paddle, it can come from either direction. So it's coming from left to right. Okay, so sorry, from right to left. So it could be coming at this angle. You see how my or this angle. What we need to do is we need to point it in the opposite direction, and basically if it's coming from left to right, we move it in the opposite direction as well. So that's just where those two things are. Just in terms of directions, you'll see if I go to point in direction, anything that is above 0 is kind of moving is moving to the right, and anything below that is moving to the left. Just so you can see that. there. As well as that, when we received that message in the previous video, basically if it hit a brick, you got this, the ball received a message, and again, similar kind of thing, it just moves in the opposite direction. So that's this is the code for that. If the direction is less than 0, so if the direction is less than 0, which means it's going to be towards the left, then point in the direction 100 degrees minus, so the opposite, so basically you're going full, you're basically going 180 degrees minus the angle of that direction. The direction's probably not going to land at 90 degrees, it's probably going to be somewhere else. So basically it's going to go the opposite way, and then basically up. So instead of it's not going to go fall downwards, it needs to go up, and that's quite important. And similarly, if your direction is going to be greater than 1, so it's going to be flying to the right, so that's more than 90 degrees, basically we wanted to point that direction as well, to go the opposite direction. So that's the coding for that. The paddle is our new thing, our new item. It's hidden there behind the lava at the moment, and very little code there. Basically all we needed to do is follow the mouse, and I've just used the code here forever. Wherever the mouse is, it should go to, the X coordinate should go there, and should always stick from left to right. So that's the coding. I've put -90 as our figure there. The reason I haven't just set X as coordinates, because there is a possibility that I might have a power up in the future that might make the paddle go further up or further down the screen. That's the reason for the generalization there. The final new thing is called lava, and basically I just did this for effect more than anything else. That basically we, whenever the game is over, so if the ball falls into lava, the lava will rise and cover everything up and the game will be over. So basically I have it set to be very low down. I have it set at 100%, but if it touches the ball, then we want to play that sound Alien Creek. We bring it to the front to cover everything else, so that's important, so it doesn't go behind the paddle. And then we repeat, we have an animation again there. We repeat 10 times to change Y by 5, so we move it upwards, but we change the size by 20, so we multiply it so it looks like it's making going bigger. So again, it's just animation, and then stop ball just stops the whole game. That is really all there is to the game. There's no points. There's nothing else new to it. In the next level, what we're going to do is, I suppose, I'm going to theme the game a little bit better. Seems to have a lava volcano kind of thing going on. So I'll probably turn the bricks a bit more metallic, change the paddle to be a bit more metallic, the ball a bit more metallic, and then we might add a bit of scoring to the game as well. And that's probably enough for level 3. As always, the link to the project is in the description. I suppose, I hope that's helped in terms of the idea of bouncing, really. I suppose using code to bounce things, and that, as I said, was in our code for the ball. If you look over here, that is the code if you want to bounce things back upwards if they're falling downwards. Just have a look at that code there. Okay, we will see you next time for level 3, and thanks very much as always for listening.